How's it going, folks? Here's a Super 250 that I've gotten running. It was seized and it didn't have spark, so I put the external ignition module on the coil, and now I've got beautiful spark. Runs like a dream. Well, the throttle was stuck. There's a whole lot of... I should have done a video on this earlier, and it didn't kind of kick into me now. Like, just because I've never worked on a Super 250, so it's a big, gray area. I've never actually worked on any of this style of Mcculloch before. I've got one other 250 that I'm hopefully going to get some parts from a good fella there, Jeff Ward from the Canadian Vintage Chainsaw Hoarders. A good guy, and hopefully we'll do a video when we get up there. But this thing, it runs great. Like I said, it was seized. It didn't have spark. I did a whole whack, and biggest problem was the gas tank was leaking. So I'm taking this apart, and I'm gonna hopefully make a redneck gasket for it. I hope there isn't one on the back. There might be, but we'll see when we get this apart. Like I said, I wasn't gonna film this because it's a big gray area for me, but I figured, what the heck am I doing? Might as well take you guys along. So here we go. Okay, boy, I couldn't see that from the top. I'm glad I ever took that, or am I ever glad I took that apart? There's so much dirt in the bottom of this. Just built up over the years, I guess, and sitting outside probably, or wherever it was. Doesn't look like there's a gasket on the back, so we only got the one to make. Looks like it was an old cardboard gasket. And just the one like Bellhopper Mcculloch told me in his live feed there on Saturday. If you guys don't know who Bellhopper is, get over there and check that guy out. He's a wealth of knowledge on these Mccullochs, and I really enjoy his live that he does every Saturday, because if you have any questions for you, he'll answer you right there and then. And I asked him about this, and he said he thought it was just the one. He wasn't 100% sure, but looks like he was right. And he was talking about making a cereal box gasket. That's what I'm going to do today, but I'm going to redneck it up a little bit, and I'll show you guys what I'm going to do. It's been a long time since I've made a gasket, but I'll see what I can manage. But first, I'm going to get this cleaned out. Holy smokes. Alright, well, I've rinsed out most of the junk in this side. There's quite a bit of corrosion, so I'm just going to give it a little whip with the Dremel and see if I can't get it cleaned. And I'll do the same with the other half, and then we'll make a gasket. Again, it's not perfect, but it'll serve its intended purpose. Okay, just cleaning up the saw half here, and well, I found my leak. Looks like it's rotted through in the back corner here. The sheep aren't happy about it neither. Can't say I blame them. But I'm going to try and plug that up with some JB Weld and see what we can do here. Alright, she's cleaned out with the Dremel. There was a lot of stuff in here, and I noticed there's another pinhole back here. So I'm just going to likely fill this whole area up with JB Weld. Call me an idiot if you want, but I mean, that's my logic. It should plug it up, I reckon. It's a steel epoxy, 2-part steel epoxy, and it adheres to just about anything. Now, some of you might be asking, why don't you just fill it up with weld? Well, not because it's a gas tank, but because it's magnesium. I'm not going to stick a welder to that. It'll likely turn into an incendiary, and like I said, it has nothing to do with because it's a gas tank. It's just because magnesium don't like heat. Anyways, let me get this dried up and cleaned up a little more, and we'll give her a go. Actually, looking at this original cardboard gasket, it looks like they didn't get too elaborate with it, so I don't know that I cut out the center here, and I'm just gonna kind of, finesse it around. I've got my markings as to, like you can kind of see where the outside is, so I know what my boundaries are. So we'll give that a go. Yeah, it's not pretty, but neither am I. Okay, so the idea is to get it covered with this high-tack spray gasket. I'm going to do one light coat here, and then I'm going to do another coat just before I put it on, and I'm going to let it get a little tacky and then fire the sucker on there, and hopefully that'll do the trick for me. So this should seal up my cardboard nicely and give it a bit more of a protective layer. And this is the redneck gasket that we're going to go with. I told you it was going to be redneck, and it ain't going to be pretty, but hopefully it works. If you see my other video, I explained why I'm not using the shop. It's because it's an absolute disaster piece right now. But hey, we got our first little layer on. Like I said, just a light coat, just to kind of seal it up. But yeah, that thing needs a reed block. I got a fellow who says he's got one, so I've got to see him. But I mean, I'm always open to more avenues for parts, so if anybody has any, let me know. But yeah, that's gonna sit there and dry. Our JB weld's drying, and hopefully we can slap this back together and we'll have a usable unit. Fingies crossed. Okay, I've got the final spray on the gasket. That's nice and hard. Just let that tack up, and then I'm gonna give it a little bit of a final cleaning and slap it together. We're just gonna hope for the best. Okay, I don't like to give out too many tips that I know for sure that I'm gonna call as a sure thing, but professional tip: make sure you got a doggo and a kitty cat keeping you company. Makes this whole process a lot less stressful. Okay, new gaskets on. Our JB Weld's in there. I left the cap off just to give this spray tack a chance to just firm up, and we'll give it a little bit here to dry out, and then we'll try putting some fuel in it and see if she holds. Fingies crossed, man. I mean, if red green taught me anything, is you make do with what you have. Alright, so in today's cast of kindness, I want to do a shout out to the Ward family, each and every one of yous. You guys are the Canadian Vintage Chainsaw Hoarders. For those of you who don't know who the Wards are, they do a whole whack for the saw community. They do a monthly giveaway with their club, and they're giving away a Pioneer Farm saw, which is a beauty saw. I believe is a 65cc saw, pretty much the same thing as my P42. And speaking of shout outs to the Wards, I got your package in the mail today, and I already know what's in it. I got my my sticker and my keychain from this. So the deal with the keychain is that's how you get in their monthly draws. And like I said, they do a whole whack for the saw community. They have the group on the Facebook, and they do their barbecue, and they do the like everything. And Jeff's the one who's going to be helping me out with the Mcculloch 250 parts. So here's the keychain, and yeah, there's a number on the keychain, and that's how they do their draw. Here is what I believe is my sticker, which will be going on the green truck, just not today, it's too wet out. But we will get this put on the green work truck. There we are. So there you go. Canadian Vintage Chainsaw Hoarders Pioneer. Of course it's going to be Pioneer, you know. But anyways, shout out to you guys, the Wards. You're a great, loving community with your Chainsaw Hoarders group. Very positive, and I've been nothing but constantly impressed by you guys. So today's cast of kindness goes to you, and to all you guys watching, go check out the Canadian Vintage Chainsaw Hoarders group on Facebook. Lovely community. And if you're a nasty person, don't go there. And if you're a nasty person, don't watch my channel. But if you're a good person, go there and check it out. Okay, so as we wait for everything to set there, like I said, I installed electronic ignition module into this thing, and it does stick out a little bit where the screw is. So before that hurts me, I'm going to take this little stone on the Dremel, and we'll just we'll dull that out there and make it potentially fairly flush. You know, this is, I mean, it'll hurt me or the next guy that uses it or whatever the case, so I might as well just deal with it now, and you know, we'll just get it out the road. Okay, so you see she's nice and smooth there. I found it was easier with two hands. Sorry, I didn't want to fight with having one. But there, my little screw that holds the electric ignition module in place is not going to stab me anymore. Alrighty, let's just get back to you and we can put some fuel into this thing. Another thing while we're waiting for this to firm up, just a little bit of a DL on the Super 250. It's a little bigger than a regular 250, so with this one you get 87 cc's, and I believe the regular 250 is just 80 cc's. I'll have to double check that. These guys were made from 1970 to 75. This one here is better than most because it's made in Rexdale, Ontario, so it's a Canadian saw. And they're a direct drive saw, left-hand start. I don't believe there's any throttle locker on these, but they do have a locking choke, which is a nice feature. Some of the older models, you have to hold the choke while you start it. And yeah, that's about all I can really give you on the Super 250 right now. Okay, we've given her a couple hours. It's win or lose. Let's see what happens when we put some fuel into it. So far, so good. So far, so good. Okay. That's a full tank. Let's have a look at you here. I had to put a new O-ring on it. The old one was rotted off. Got one of those kits from Princess Auto. That's a handy little thing, man. You use those little kits from Princess Auto all the time, whether it's one of them bolt kits or O-ring kits or electrical kits. Hey, well, it's dry underneath. As the Colonel would say, I love it when a plan comes together. It's pretty dry right there at the JB Weld, which I'm pretty sure was where it was coming from originally. So that's pretty cool. Alrighty, folks. Yeah. So I mean, with a couple common items and a bit of a can-do attitude, we've mended this gas tank. So I hope you enjoyed that video. It was a lot of fun, and it's glad to be able to end on a high note. So until next. Oh, what's that? You want to hear it run? I told you it runs. Well, you don't trust me. All right. Oh boy, told you it run. Well, that makes me happy. I hope you're smiling on that other end there. And you know, till next time, take her easy. And as Red Drain would say, the women don't find you handsome, might as well find you handy.